What's up, everybody? Monster Master Godzilla here, and I'm about to continue the Friday-A-Thon, which I know it's been a while, and I know what you guys thinking. Wait a minute, why do I look like this? Why do I look like this? Well, fear not, folks. I know you're used to me looking like this, but this right here with the mask. With the mask right here. This right here with the mask. The goggles. The mask, the goggles, and the hat that says I love Godzilla on it. I decided this will be a new look for my YouTube. You know, for me being in character. Alright, so let me adjust the mask a little. Let me adjust the mask a little and the goggles, and I'm just gonna continue with the videos. So now let's continue the video. Now, we're up to Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter. Yeah, and that's the biggest problem about Friday the 13th, Part 4. The way it's called, the final chapter. And it's not really the final chapter. It's actually it's not really the final chapter, but there is actually more than 4. So it continues like Part 3 storyline, where you thought they officially killed off Jason at that point. But they end up killing. It turns out Jason lived, of course. Jason is then played by Ted White, who sadly passed away. And so they had a. So now after and then it turns out the police investigating and find out Jason, and investigated. Turns out Jason left while they were doing the sweep. And now, for the first time in film, we have Corey Feldman. He playing Tommy Jarvis. And you may have known Corey Feldman when he was in stuff like The Lost Boys and The Goonies, which The Goonies is the first movie I've seen Corey Feldman in. And he was surprisingly good in this one. Tommy Jarvis is the main character of the film. And he ends up appearing in 2 more movies, which are Friday the 13th, Part 5, and Part 6. And they establish him as Jason's archenemy in the franchise. And not only does Corey Feldman make an appearance, but Crispin Glover appears in it, which you remembered him when he was George McFly in Back to the Future. So it's like the same as always, like none special. Jason goes after the people, kills them. He does make so many brutal kills, like he always does. And the final confrontation is when Tommy and Trish end up taking on Jason. And they knocked him out a couple of times. He comes back, but then they eventually knocked out Jason's mask, and they find out, and the look of Jason is consistent still, when he still has that machete marked on his head, and even a part of his mask was broken. So yeah, they had some continuity in there. And then they defeated Jason by stabbing him through the eye with his own machete. And Jason is officially dead. And weirdly, the Tommy Jarvis is somehow bald. And he was all yelling, "Die, die, die, die!" And Trish ends up being in a mental hospital and and that's pretty much the end of that one. So this officially was supposed to be the final chapter, hence the title, Friday the 13th, the final chapter, where they officially killed off Jason at this point. But it turns out that wasn't really the final chapter. So, with that said, stay tuned for a movie where it goes downhill from there. Well, and that's all I have to say, folks. And as always, stay awesome, my Monster Masters. And I hope you enjoyed the review, because there's not much to talk about this one. Because all their movies, the storyline is still one of the best. It's definitely considered one of the favorites of the franchise, being that it's part 4. The first 4 films are awesome. But then we get up to part 5, which I will talk about it soon, and I have to warn you, some of the movies come with the franchise comes with not so good movies. And that's all I have to say, folks. And as always, stay awesome, my Monster Masters, and I'll catch you later. Bye.